What is good, y'all? Welcome to Let's Cap. I'm your host, Ronald from Wagertalk at Youcapper Sports on Twitter. Got my guy Finesse with me here today. Man, it might be the last game of the NBA season today. Finesse might be the last game here. Couple things though, obviously we always want to be transparent here. Last game went 1-1, but my top play ended up missing. Got too cute with it, man. I took the full game under, which hit. That's the one that I gave out to everybody for free, and then the game that I actually liked the play that I liked a little bit more was actually the Nuggets to go under their team total. Ended up going over on a late three. It might have been by KCP if I'm not mistaken, but a late three-pointer went over. They ended up scoring 108. I had 106 and a half. It was really close. I would have went 2-0 if it wasn't for that. But other than that, man, the NBA playoffs has been really good for me. Last 12 in the finals, actually 9-3 in the NBA finals so far. So the finals have been really good for me. But the opposite, obviously the WNBA, I was really hot starting off the season. WNBA, but it's basically the opposite, almost the opposite of the NBA finals. So hopefully get back track on the WNBA side when that gives back tomorrow. But other than that, man, I'm just kind of excited for the NBA season to close out here, so we could focus in on MLB and the WNBA. But Finesse, how was your NBA finals so far? Game 4 specifically.
Yeah, game 4. I mean, we talked about it on the show. I took the under 107.5 in the first half.
Yep.
That cash somehow. First quarter was I was loving life in the first
Yeah,
quarter.
that second quarter was crazy.
Yeah, second quarter was crazy. Shout out to Jimmy Butler missing those free throws. Yeah, so we cashed that. I also went official on Gabe Vissa over 12.5 points. And he was just pretty much a no-show, early foul trouble again.
Yeah.
So 1-1 over on the playoffs. I got to add everything up. We had a good playoffs. We're definitely positive. I'm gonna add everything up, but yeah, excited, bro. I think we do. I think this is the last game of the year, and it's gonna wrap up a great season. A lot of people were like iffy on whether the finals is gonna be exciting or whatever, but
yeah,
I've enjoyed watching it. The level of play is outstanding, especially from Denver. So
yeah,
I think we see more tonight, and yeah, let's talk about it.
No, the whole playoffs in general, Finesse, has been really good. I mean, as far as like level of competition, I think the biggest thing though is comparing playoffs to the regular season, where people, man, throughout the regular season, nobody really cared. You know what I mean? Like so many load management situations, the back to backs, really killed a lot of these. The scheduling aspect of the regular season really killed, the excitement of the NBA. To be honest, so hopefully they figure that out next season, and we don't see as much load management, and teams take it more seriously in the regular season, because a lot of the capping too is affected by that, right? How important some of these games are in the playoffs. Obviously, it shows in the level of play. So hopefully they do something with the regular season next season. But yeah, let's get into this game here. We got Miami Heat now. Out over in Denver, right? Game 5 here, 209.5 is the total, -9. Last night I saw it at 208.5. I also saw the spread at 8.5 for the Nuggets there. So it's moved a little bit this morning. Big news this morning was Tyler Herro, right? Being upgraded. Want to get your thoughts on that, because I mean, obviously he's been out for a while. We saw they opened up his point props 8.5. Juice to under at -120. Any thoughts on the impact of Tyler Herro, what that can do to? Obviously, they're bringing him back because they got nothing to lose, right? They got to bring everything to the table here in Game 5, must-win situation. They got to win out the rest of the playoffs. So, thoughts on Herro, and also thoughts on what you see as far as what you could take advantage from a betting perspective here in Game 5.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. I know they're kind of looking for something. They're desperate at this point, obviously, as any team would be, down 3-1 in the finals. I just don't like it. I think he's going to take away from, it's tough because they haven't flowed that well on offense anyways. So I know you're trying to add, one of your top scorers back in. A guy that can score at all 3 levels. I get it. And they need the 3-point shooting as well. But I don't know. There's just so many question marks still. How is he going to look? How healthy is he? How many minutes is he going to play? The impact for me is I'm just staying away from all Miami Heat props. Not only the insertion of Tyler Herro, but that backcourt has given you absolutely nothing. Myself, I expected Vincent, like I said, to kind of bounce back in Game 5, which which he just, I'm sorry, in game 4, which he just didn't. So Mac is giving you absolutely nothing. Gabe Vincent ain't really giving you anything. How many minutes is Caleb Martin going to play? He closed out the game. Last game, played over 30 minutes. So unless you're betting Jimmy or Bam, I don't really have a ton of interest in. I'm just staying away from Miami Heat props today. So we'll see what he does. It's obviously a low point line. I know there's going to be some people out there that's going to take it, but just complete stay away from the Miami side for me.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about some of the role players on the Miami side, right? Gabe Vincent, he struggled, only played 18 minutes. Strus, once again, man, over on everything offensively, basically. And then, Caleb Martin, who had a strong series last series, ended up starting this series really bad. Picked up some momentum. I mean, he shot 5 for 12, 11 points in the 30 minutes he played in the last game. Lowry played 32 minutes as well. I mean, we would probably, I know you said you want to stay away from the Miami Heat props, but from a rotation perspective, do you feel like Caleb Martin and Kyle Lowry picked up enough momentum to get more run early in the game versus guys like Strus, Love, and Vincent who normally start the game? Do we see those guys come up early? And also from a pace perspective, I think we both kind of think that the Nuggets end up finishing this game right this year tonight. It's a matter of do you see that, obviously do you think that they can cover the spread? It's a high spread, but from a pace perspective, if the Nuggets are up early, you would think that the Heat kind of push the pace, right? To make obviously it's gonna force them to push the pace, attack the basket a little bit more, get easier buckets versus trying to shoot the 3 ball. But in game 4 too, Finesse, one thing that I saw was they actually did attack the paint a little bit more, and doing that, it gets them the three ball becomes less contested, right? Because they're gonna have to Denver's gonna have to pack it into the paint a little bit more. That's kind of like what I see from a total perspective, right? I think that's the game flow that I see. Miami attack the paint a little bit more, get the guys in there that can push the pace a little bit more as well. And then obviously we don't know how many minutes Tyler Herro is going to play, but if he's in there, he's going to obviously push the pace as well, and the defense probably going to take a hit, right? So for me, I feel like it's a fast-paced game, and I feel like it might be trending to the over for the most part. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree. In terms of the role players, Kevin Love has been good in the minutes he's been getting, but 22 minutes has been his series high in terms of minutes. Played 16. You still got me, RC?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, my shit frozen. He's played 16 in the 18 minutes, so he's productive while he's on the floor, but not on the floor much. Yeah, I do think we see more Lowry early. I do think we see more of Caleb Martin early, kind of taking those minutes from guys like Vincent and Strus. I know Vince has been in foul trouble, but there's been times where he's just sacrificing minutes to other guys and supposed to do whatever he can to kind of get the guys going. I think this is a Duncan Robinson game. I think they know they got to get him in there. And you talked about it, sacrificing the defense a little bit. Duncan played 25 minutes. I think he's been the most consistent guy from 3 in this series.
Yeah.
Kyle Lowry went 1 of 4 from 3 in 33 minutes. Duncan 25 minutes, took 4 threes, made 2 of them. I think he's a key to this game. I think I don't even want to say it because I don't think Miami really has any good shot to win this game. I think they have to shoot out of their mind from 3, and I think they'll try to do so. I think they need 30 plus attempts, and I think they need to shoot 40+% from 3.
Definitely, yeah.
And what better?
The 3 ball has been the variable between all the games, right?
Yeah.
So the other thing that I was thinking too, Finesse, is I feel like it's kind of correlated depending on who you feel like is going to, if you feel like Miami is going to cover or even possibly win this game outright, you would think that it would go over. And, just like how game 2 went, right? And then if Nuggets win, it would probably be an under game, right? I feel like those two things are correlated in my opinion, or, Nuggets cover. The other thing too, so I brought up the Killer Sports. I'm going to bring up some of the queries that I looked up. But from a trend perspective, right, historically, one thing that I looked at was just game 5s in general, right? So we'll go playoffs, game series, game equals 5, round equals 4, and then I'm gonna look at. Actually, let's just start from there, and we'll say home. All right. So we go home teams, right, in Game 5 of the NBA Finals, 11-7 straight up, 9-9 against the spread, 11-7 to the over. Obviously, it's been a mixed bag the last few seasons, right? But more so to the over. So four of the last 6 goes to the over. If you say the home team is the favorite in this situation, right, we'll just keep diving down more and more. 10-5 straight up, 10-5 to the over, 8-7 against the spread there. Again, the over is more apparent, right, in more recent seasons. And then if we go a little bit deeper and we say the series wins equals 3, right, the home favorite is up 3-1 in the series. It continues to get better to the over, 5-1 to the over for the most part. That's kind of like what I was thinking, right? In this must-win situation, I feel like the Heat are probably going to be the team that pushes the pace for the most part. And the Nuggets, we know they do better offensively at home too. So I was kind of going back and forth with the Nuggets team total over or the full game over, but I feel like I want to take that sense of urgency from the Miami Heat side and the possible adjustments that I could see coming from them, right? Taking some of the success that they had in Game 4, which was, I feel like, attacking the paint, and maybe that will lead to open threes instead of contested threes later in the game. So I'm kind of putting all that together and saying I feel like both teams can possibly go over. And, if you think about it, I think that they've been going under by, I think, like 6 or less. And Miami's been shooting, 29-30% from 3. All they really need to do is make 2 more. And that's definitely doable in this situation, I feel like. And I think, like you said, Duncan Robinson is going to be a key component. I think he's been sort of that spark plug when he's in the court. Not only just shooting the 3 ball, but he's been able to attack the paint as well. And also in some situations distribute the ball, at the right time. So he has been sort of a playmaker there. I don't know how that Tyler Hero coming back is going to affect it, but for the most part, I'm just kind of going based off of game flow, right? The other thing too, I mean, and this is going to be from a more of a matchup perspective between the 2 teams. And I talked about this before the series started. So we go since 2018, and team equals Nuggets and O team equals Heat. So just between the Nuggets and Heat since 2018. Now this includes the playoffs, right? This includes the playoffs now. 20. Oh, sorry. Greater than or equal to 12-2 straight up, 12-2 against the spread. So in this matchup perspective, the Nuggets just have the Heat's number, right? But obviously most of these games are in the regular season. And these last 4 here are in the playoffs. So there's a little bit of a difference because of the situation, and which is why we're seeing more unders. But for the most part, if we look at them in Denver, 6-2 straight up, 6-2 against the spread does lean towards the Nuggets, but 5-3 to the over. And that's a little bit different compared to when they're in Miami. That trends to the under 2-4, right? So I feel like just pace of play, the game flow trends towards the over when they're in Denver. And we saw that in Game 2, right? Obviously, Game 1 was a struggle for the Miami Heat because they just came off a physical Game 7, right? So we expected them to kind of fall flat. Game 2 came around. They were a little bit more rested, obviously, and that game trended towards the over. I feel like it's going to be more similar to Game 2 than it is Game 1, if that makes sense. So that's kind of the way that I'm looking here. I'm looking towards the over for the most part. I feel like the Nuggets should be able to win this game. 9 points is kind of high here, right? I feel like the Heat should be able to cover. I'm personally not taking the money. I'm not putting the money on the spread there, but I do like the over there. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I 100% agree. We've seen a pace in games 3 and 4 slightly quicken compared to the absolute snail's pace we were seeing in games 1 and 2. We saw it in the second quarter. Miami started running up and down the court. They were playing, it seemed like at a lightning pace in our second quarter, and they were having some success. Obviously, it was a higher scoring quarter. They were able to get more offense off. Lowry was making some tough shots, but they got offense off, and I think that's what they're going to continue to need to do. Like you said, the total at 208, I just feel like it's at least a couple points too low. We're going to get extreme desperation from Miami, a lot of foul baiting from Miami. Hopefully they go to the line more, but like you said, they just haven't been shooting well. So everybody's waiting for them to wake up from 3, from the field. They're waiting for them to get it going in the paint consistently, and they just haven't done it. So you got to expect at some point for them to at least shoot, 45, 47% from the floor, just have one of those games that shots are going in. So would definitely lean over, would definitely lean Denver to win and cover. I'm going to take Denver to win and pair it with something else. 9 is a lot of points, and I still respect Miami despite, what the series says. But yeah, would definitely lean over full game.
I like it. I like that a lot there. The other piece too, from a prop perspective, I know you probably don't. You said you don't want to touch the Miami Heat side, but from a Denver side, right? One thing that I took, and I gave this out too on the Triple Double show, was Jamal Murray assists. He's hit 10 assists in every single game so far this series, averaging 10.5. He hit, I think it was 10, 10, 10, and then 12 in the last game. 18 potential assists per game. We've been running that this series. The assist plus rebounds, right? As long as it was, I think it was initially it was 12.5, and then it went to 13.5. Now we're seeing it at 14.5. I feel like that's a little bit too high, and that's the reason why I went to the assist specifically. Last night it was an 8.5 at plus money. I don't know what it is now. I didn't check, but I feel like the Heat haven't figured it out yet. They haven't figured out how to stop Murray. And Jimmy Butler in the post game interview, he mentioned they need to focus in on Murray and Jokic, right? How to stop those guys. And if they're gonna stop them, I feel like that's gonna be more opportunity for assists, in my opinion, right? They want to stop Jamal Murray from scoring and having the ball in his hands. That to me, that just seems like he's gonna be passing more. So I had to look towards that assist here, especially at plus money. I had to take it. Do you see anything else from a prop perspective on Denver side? I know you mentioned Michael Porter Jr. Man, I feel like this might be. I mean, for me, if they're gonna stop Murray and Jokic, it's got to be Gordon and Porter Jr. Right? And those are the guys that got to step up. And MPJ, man, he's had some opportunities. His minutes has come down more and more. But if they're gonna focus in on Jokic and Murray, it's got to be one of those guys. What are your thoughts are from a prop perspective on the Denver side?
Yeah, in terms of MPJ, that's just a no for me. That's what Miami's been doing the whole series, is focusing in on Murray and Joker, and MPJ hasn't really given you anything. I know he's covered his points prop last game, and that's cool. But this guy right here will not be on MPJ in any type of way. In terms of what I am going to be on, I gave this out last night. I got to look at what the odds are now, but I couldn't believe this line. So I was looking at trying to back Joker in some way, right? So obviously I go to his points. I see that 29.5. I'm scrolling down. I'm looking at the alt lines, kind of seeing what those odds are, stuff like that. Yeah. And I see the top scorer tabs on FanDuel. So I'm like, okay, let me check that out. And they had Joker as to lead the game in scoring at plus 110 on FanDuel. So I took that. Like I said, his points line is 29.5. I feel like this is a better, more valuable, and a little bit of a safer way to still take his over points, right? You're still kind of taking that. So his points were juiced to the over. Last time I looked, it was like minus 115. You're getting this at plus money. And he doesn't necessarily have to cover his original points line to hit this prop. So going into kind of why I like it, Miami's had no answer for Joker this series, as we talked about consistently. He's dominating the paint. He's shooting 47% from three during the playoffs, 44% from three in this series, and has been aggressively looking for a shot all series consistently. That's something that we know Joker as completely willing, completely unselfish and willing to not be the top scorer and to play make. But we've seen him be aggressive all series. He's been the top scorer in two of the 4 games so far this series. But taking a closer look at the games he wasn't, Murray dropped 34 in game 3. Joker dropped 32. Murray had a great game. Shout out to him. But Joker was still right there, obviously. In that game, Murray shot 55% from the floor, 50% from 3, and he hasn't been able to copy that elite efficiency any other game in the playoffs. So he's been great, like you said, elite playmaking. He's putting the ball in the basket, just not as efficiently as he did in that game to drop 34. So a little bit of an anomaly there. The other miss was the Aaron Gordon game last game. An amazing performance by Aaron Gordon, but obviously completely an outlier. He's not going to drop close to 30 every night. So Jokic also missed 5 to 6 minutes of that game in the fourth quarter due to foul trouble. And he ended that game just 4 points short of catching his prop. So you got to think if he gets that extra 5 or 6 minutes, he's at least going to have the opportunity to hit this prop and surpass what AG did last game. Where are we at?
That's what I was about to ask you. I want to look it up while you talk about it. But Aaron Gordon put a really great stat line, right? And the other thing to mention too is we've seen Joker and Murray put up 10 assists to 10 assists each in 2 of the 4 games. Jokic has gone 14, 4, 10, 4, right? Sort of like a zigzag on the assist side. Do you expect him? I know you mentioned his points, but from an assist perspective, wouldn't you think that it would come back up here from the assist perspective as well, like to double digits?
Yeah, I mean they're back at home where everybody seems to play better, everybody shoots better on another side. So, of course, I'm never going to take a Joker under assist. I think he has a chance to go off for 15 plus assists in any type of game. I just think, and I was going to get into this a little bit. I think Jamal's game is more containable, right? So if you're looking you can't have AG and Bruce Brown, combined for almost 50 points. That just can't happen. So there's going to be an extra focus on stopping those guys, limiting shots from the perimeter. There's going to be extra focus on that. The 2-man game has proven to be unstoppable, but Joker is as unstoppable as it gets. You can kind of contain Jamal. We've seen that happen this series. You can send more guys at him. You can kind of crowd the elbows when he drives, stuff like that, and force him to be a passer. And that's what he's shown he can be elite at is passing the rock, playmaking, and getting his guys involved. So if I'm going to choose who's going to be the playmaker and who's going to score, I like Joker to score this game. I got him for 30 plus. I project him for 30 plus, which I think is going to be more than enough to cover this prop. But one of the guys that can ruin him being top scorer is Jamal Murray, right? He can get hot, no question about it. He can take 20, 25 shots. He can get hot, and he can score 35 plus. I don't see that this game. I think Joker goes off. I think he gets the volume he's been getting all series, and I think he catches that prop. But he can do both. Absolutely. I mean, we've seen him do both. He can give you 30 plus and 10 plus assists. So definitely not counting that out. That's why I love your Jamal Murray assist prop, because those two things are kind of correlated. Expecting Joker to score more and Jamal to play make.
I'm trying to dive deep into this Aaron Gordon. Do you know his PRA props by chance?
Yeah, let me get it real quick. Let's see.
Because I'm looking at, obviously Gordon put up a chunk of points in the last game. I looked at this season in the playoffs after scoring 20 or more. His assist prop is super low. His points is around 16 in both games, but I would think that his assist is around like 3.5 maybe. I don't know what his PRA would be, because I know his rebounds is probably around like 7.
Yeah, PRA is 23.5. His assist is 3.5.
What do you think about an under on Aaron Gordon?
Yeah, I mean, we're getting a little bit of an inflated number, but I don't know. In a game we're expecting to go over, I'm just not really looking to. I'm trying to limit my action. I'm not really looking to take any unders or anything like that.
Yeah.
And root for missed shots and stuff like that. AG can just affect the game in so many different ways. 23.5 is high in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think a fair line is more like 21.5.
Yeah.
But I'm not interested in taking an under.
Makes sense to me. It does make sense to me. I know. I mean, like I said, it's just the last game of the season, right? You don't want to force any plays. I only have 2 plays, which is what I just gave out today or already, which was the over and the Jamal Murray assist. But I feel like obviously when you have one game to break down, you can see so many different angles and so many different you can kind of see value in some other props and stuff too. I might look towards Aaron Gordon a little bit more after the show. Maybe the assist prop. Kind of see here that after a big game, he tends to struggle with that. 3.5 seems like a lot. The PRA also, like you said, I feel like it's a couple too high at 23.5. So
yeah,
maybe look towards the under in this direction. Huh?
Yeah, just something else real quick, because the query you brought up was kind of looking at AG after a big game.
Yeah.
And I found this fascinating, right? So shout out to YBB Sports Data. This is per him and his stats. So Jokic's stats, right, especially looking at his points in closeout games after failing to hit 52 PRA the game before. So just looking at his points, kind of going along with my prop, he scored 30, 43, 30, 30, 29, 29, and 43. Right? So that's right, not necessarily a desperation spot for them, but just closeout games. To hit 52.5 PRAs, the scoring has to be there, right? So that's coming off a game where the scoring wasn't necessarily there. He didn't go off in the scoring department. Maybe didn't shoot well from the field like he did last game. And you see what he's doing in the game after. So averaging over 30 in those spots, a couple 40 balls in there. So I like that. Just kind of correlated. Shout out to YBB Sports Data.
I like it. I don't even think I had that prop available to me. The highest score. Man. All right. Well, hey, you know what? We talked about some props. We talked about the total. I think we're both gonna stay off of the side, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm gonna be on Denver, just not
in some way. You said the money line. You're gonna pair the money line with something else. Got you.
Yep.
Yeah. I think Nuggets win it. I think they close it out here. It's just a matter of, like I said, I feel like it's correlated. If you think the Heat can cover, I feel like it's gonna go over. If you feel like the Nuggets cover, I think it's gonna go under. Maybe it might be that situation where we see late fouls to push it over. But for the most part, I think I feel like it should get over 210 to 211. I think those are fair numbers there. We'll see what.
Just kind of lend into the over as well. We keep talking about how much better Miami can play, right? The room for improvement. Denver could still play better too. I mean, they didn't play that well. Joker and Murray come out for 36 shots, only shot 36% from the floor. We saw AG and Bruce Brown go off, but they didn't really. I mean, just surface stats. They shot well from the floor. They shot well from three, but that wasn't their main guys. They actually lost the rebounding, which they haven't really done this series. They lost the fast break points. The points in the paint were much closer than it has been that series. So there's still room for Denver to play a lot better along with Miami. So just kind of lending to that over as well. 208. Like you said, it doesn't take much. 2 minutes, 3 minutes left in the game. It doesn't take much to kind of push you over, barely over that 208. So I like that.
Yeah. As long as Miami is playing from behind, they're going to continue to push the pace there.
Yeah, for sure.
I like it. All right. Well, finesse, man. Let's do. I forgot. Baseball, MLB. Real quick, I wanted to ask you some questions before we close out and give our personal plays. So baseball, there was a couple ways that I was looking at it. So I wanted to find a way to back two teams here, Rays and then the Rangers. The Rays, obviously, the super high juice play there on the money line. So I'm trying to avoid that. But what are your thoughts on possibly the team total over? And if I didn't see what the run last time I saw the run line, it was at -140. I don't mind paying minus. I don't mind laying -140 if it's still there on the run line. But those are the two ways: it was team total over or the run line there. And then on the Rangers side, we kind of briefly talked about it before the show. First five, the Rangers been one of those dominant teams in the first five in so many different ways. I'm looking at some trends here, right? So first five, the Rangers 17-3-2 on the first five money line, 16-6 first five run line, 16-5-1 to the first five over when they're I think it was home favorites, if I'm not mistaken. I got to look at that again. But just from a trend perspective, it looks like the Rangers really dominating the first five. What are your thoughts on both of those plays there, or those angles?
Yeah, starting with the Rays, the books are making it almost impossible for you to back them. They're close to -300 on money line. The run line is -166 on FanDuel, so that's even unplayable. Yeah, of course I like the Rays. The A's just came off a sweep of the Brewers. They're human beings. I mean, after so much losing so often in this series, of course they're going to go out. Of course they're going to celebrate sweeping the team. You take the little wins where you can get it. So, yeah, everything, right? The Rays team total is 5.5. The A's team total is only 2.5 full game. So everything is pointing towards the Rays covering. the winning and covering the run line. The books are making it super, super hard. I'm going to find, just like you, I'm going to find a way to back the Rays in some form of fashion. Zach Eflin's been great this year, so always like a chance to back him. In terms of Texas, yeah, completely agree. They've been arguably the best first 5 team in the league, especially offensively. They're putting up a ton of runs. The lineup is one of the most dangerous in the league. So I don't really mind juice either. Last time I looked, their money line. Hold on, let me get it. So that money line right now is minus 156 on FanDuel. Probably get that somewhere else a little bit better. But yeah, taking the first 5, which is first 5 money line is minus 150. First 5 result for the Rangers is minus 115. I have no problem with that. Dane Dunning is not a guy like I'm fist pumping it back, but he's been very, very solid this year. Very, very solid. So going against a lefty too, Texas absolutely destroys lefties. Definitely a spot I'll be looking at as well.
All right, real quick before we move on to the best bet section, I want to bring up the trends that I brought up for both of these games specifically. All right, so we have. Can you see my screen? Is it? All right, let me go here. All right, sorry, I see the whole screen. So first, let's do Rangers home favorites. This is what I was talking about earlier. First 5 here. Rangers as home favorites this season: 17-3-2 first 5 money line, 16-6 first 5 run line, 16-5-1 to the over. I feel like the Angels have a good enough offense to kind of keep this up here. In my opinion, I know you mentioned Dane Dunning and how he's done, but I think maybe if you don't want to, I feel like the first 5 over, because you're able to kind of take in the Angels offense too as well. I feel like they're I would say maybe a top 10, top 15 offense in my opinion. And we know that the Rangers do well at home, right, offensively. So I feel like maybe the first 5 over would be a play in this one, right? But I mean, I wouldn't talk anyone off backing the Rangers in this specific spot as well. It's been profitable all season long. And then on the Rays side, so we go Rays and we go starter equals Zach Eflin. So Zach Eflin specifically, right? 10-1. 10-1 straight up, right? And then if you look at the first 5 numbers, really good there. 8-2-1 on the first 5. Money line 8-3 to the run line, 8-3 to the over. And if we say less than minus 160, so heavier than minus 160. And obviously this is super juiced right now. But if you look at it, the run line becomes more apparent when they're heavier favorites, and also that first 5 over, which is what I was kind of looking at too. Either the first 5 over or the full game run line, or in some fashion. Like you said, I mean, I'm not that scared of laying juice when I feel like there's still some value there. And you look at the gap in the first 5, 5.71 for the Rays, 1.29 for their opponents, 7 runs for the Rays, 2.43. So I feel like there's still a lot of room here. I don't mind laying the minus 140 or minus 150 on the run line there. Real quick again, I haven't played them, right? Just being transparent, I haven't played them, but I'm strongly leaning in those directions for those plays. Any last comments in MLB before we move on to the top plays for today?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the first 5 over in the A's game. I mean, the A's offense has been hot as shit. Don't look now, but they've been hot as shit. So getting a 4.5 to minus 110 is not a bad look. The Rays can cover that by themselves against Caprillion.
100%. You see it right there.
Yeah,
first
exactly.
5.71, and we're looking at 4.5. So
yeah, and I think that's a good way to. I think that's a smart way to still back the Rays, right? Everybody and their mother's going to be on the Rays today. So I think taking the first 5 over is still a great way to back the Rays, because you're expecting them to score, right? We just said they can cover that by themselves, but kind of fading the public, right? Some people value that more than others, but I guarantee you 90+% of the money is going to be on the Rays. Everybody going to put them in the parlays and stuff like that. So I like the first 5 over 4.5 at minus 110. I like that look.
Cool. And on the Rangers one, What did you think about that one? Do you feel like there's something there as far as backing the Rangers there, or would you think another first 5 over to take advantage of also the Angels offense as well?
Yeah, I mean that number is very different, right? That number is 5.5, more juice to the over, right? So you're paying a premium to back the over there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I don't want to disrespect the Angels, right? The Angels have been um, incredible on the road as of late as well, too. I
Yeah.
mean, they are third in WRC plus on the road since mid-May. So they are raking on the road, still striking out a lot, but
Yeah.
raking on the road, getting guys on base, stuff
Yeah.
like that, right? Dane Dunning is there to be hit, right? He's not necessarily going to walk a ton of guys, but he's there to be hit. So I expect him just to limit the power a little bit more. I'm still going to take. Uh, I'm still going to give Texas the starting pitching advantage, the offensive advantage, and they're at home. So yes, would lean towards Texas. I'm gonna find a way to back them, and could only lean first 5 over, even at 5.5.
I like it. I think based off what you said, I'm probably gonna go official with the first 5 over on that Rays game.
Yeah, I like that. I
If
like
I'm
that
being
look.
honest. All right, let's move on. All right, let's pull the screen back here. All right, damn, glad I brought up the MLB there. So now I got a MLB play. First 5 over Rays 4.5. I like it. All right, so top looks. Let's go to obviously finesse. We talked about the game 5 there of the NBA Finals. But if you do have any official in MLB, go ahead and drop that if you want to.
Yeah, none super official in MLB. I'll keep you guys updated. I'll probably drop something on Twitter for the people. So look out for that if you're interested in some MLB. In terms of NBA best bets, Nikola Jokic to lead the game in scoring, plus 110 on FanDuel. Really, really love that play. Not a market I touch very often, if at ever, but I like that. I'm glad I found it.
Yeah,
Also think Denver closes out. I'm going to find a way to back them on the money line, probably pair it with a Denver player prop. I'll look for that throughout the day. But Denver's going to close us out and win their first ever championship, so I can't wait to see that. And I'm probably going to get there with the over, bro. I want to talk to some other smart people. I'm glad we got to chop it up about it. I want to talk to some other people about it as well. But 208 seems low to me. It seems maybe 2 to 3 points too low, and
mm-hmm.
that's a big ass edge when we're talking about 2 to 3 points. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm probably gonna get there as well. So Joker to lead the game in scoring, Denver money line pair with something else, and 90% there already with the over 208.
Bro, it's already moved. I'll tell you that. So 208.5 is what I got last night. It's at 210 now.
Damn.
So it's steamed up already. I feel like there's still room. I think one of the number that I was thinking, the highest I would probably go was 211. That's what
Yeah.
I told, that's what I told my clients, and I feel like there's still room. 210 is. I feel like there's still room there, for the most part, especially in this situation. But so I do. I still like the over. Obviously, like I said, I gave it out to clients yesterday at 208.5. I still like it up to 211, and then I took the Murray assist over 8.5. It was plus 102 last night is what I got it at, or plus 102. So that's the other one there, and I think I'm gonna go official with the Rays first 5 over 4.5. The Rays and the A's there. I think I'm gonna go official with it. I have not placed it yet, but I'm gonna do it right after the show here. So those are the 3 plays that I want to drop here for you guys. Obviously, you can find my stuff over at Wagertalk, but you don't have to buy anything today just because I already gave everything out for free. And then Finesse, I know you have your Discord. You drop all your stuff on Twitter as well. A lot of free plays and all that stuff. Talk about what you do. I mean, there's someone that just said he's new here, so obviously we gotta talk about it. But let people know. Let people know. Where they can find you and your work and what you do.
Yeah, I mean, you can find me right here on Twitter. We grinding every single day. Like I said, I promised from day one that I was still gonna feed the people. You know what I'm saying? And bring value to my people on Twitter. So free plays almost every single day. There's going to be some stuff dropping there later today, probably in baseball, right? So I'm not really official on stuff yet, but if you want anything for baseball, check it out there. Yeah, we do have a Discord where I don't really like pumping that too much, but if you're looking to kind of take the next step and really become serious about this gambling shit, then check us out. I mean, best team in the world, and in my opinion, best service you could possibly buy in the world. So, yeah, great show again. Might be our last one for NBA. So shout out to you. The consistency you've done this with, and the value you bring for the people is invaluable. So I'm sure the people appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate you having me as a guest again.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna make a lot of money tonight.
definitely, 100%. All right, well, guys, that's the end of the show here, and obviously, make sure you guys follow us on Twitter. You'll see our Finesse's Twitter handle right below him there, and mine's right under my name. Like he said, this might be the last NBA game that we talk about this season, but we do have WNBA, we have MLB that's going to kick off. Obviously, we haven't. What was that?
UFC too.
UFC. All right, so UFC.
Hopefully
we can bring back Cap the Cage. I'm hoping to because the triple double from the sports memo is gonna go away after the NBA playoffs. I wanted to take over that spot, the 10 o'clock Pacific time on Wednesdays. So hopefully we can get Cap the Cage to be consistent on Wednesdays there. With myself, Finesse, Harry, BB, Harry Mack, and also YBB.
Bangers.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully we can bring that back, and maybe we can start. Maybe we can start this week. Well, let's see. We'll talk about it, and we'll see how it goes. But UFC is going to be kicking off here for the remainder of the. Obviously, it's here every week, almost every week. But for the most part, I want to bring that show back, and then man, hopefully that's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. With that said, guys, obviously the end of the show here, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. If you're on Twitter, hit the like, hit the retweet, share it as much as possible if you like what you see. And always got to end the show like this. Whether you fade us or follow us, it's on you guys to make that call. You guys are pushing the buttons. We're not making you, right? We're just giving all the breakdowns and analysis. It's up to you to make that decision on what you want to do with it, right? All right. Well, till the next show, guys. We'll post it on Twitter or whatever it might be. Till then, good luck with all your action. Peace.